At times, you're supposed to go through life and then you see and then take lessons from them. Now, a lot of people will be wondering where Mr. Brown has been. I've been around, I am doing well by the grace of God. But the reason why I haven't been on social media is just because I had a misfortune. On the 14th of October 2022, I was attacked by armed robbers. Yeah, let me say kidnap, because I was moved from one point to another location without my permission. So I would say kidnap, but we can maintain the attack. So this is what happened to me. A friend called me while I was at church on Thursday, and then he told me he's seriously sick, so I should come pick him to the hospital. So I went, picked the taxi at La Paz, and then unfortunately for me, the taxi was full of armed robbers, including the taxi driver. There was one in the front and then one at the back. So I had to join the one at the back. So we were waiting, and then the last person wasn't joining. So the driver suggested that we go forward, maybe we might meet someone by the roadside and then join us. So as we were going, we met one guy. To me, I thought it was just a passenger, but unknown to me, it was one of the armed robbers. So he joined, and then we continued the journey. I realized the driver had logged the glasses, and then he on the AC. So I was so curious to know why he did that. I asked him, and then he was like, oh, he wants us to enjoy AC. That's why he decided to own the AC for us. Okay, so with me, I thought it was okay, no problem. And there was nothing to show those around me were kind of harmful. So in about 2 minutes after the driver on the AC, the one at my right-hand side took my phone from me. So I turned to shout at him and told him, why did you take my phone from me? Is the phone yours? Before I could realize, the one on my left-hand side just gave me a slap. I turned, and the one at my right-hand side also continued with a slap. Over there, I didn't know what was going on. So I told the driver to drop me because I wouldn't want to continue the journey. And then he told me to keep quiet and then obey what those guys are telling me. Other than that, they will kill me and then throw me somewhere in a gutter. So I was gripped with fear, and then I had nothing to do because I had no hope. And I was seriously afraid because the one in front of me was holding a gun. And someone asked me, how would I know whether it's actually a real gun or not? I am a son of a police officer, so I know real guns and then guns that are not real. That was just by the way. And then before I could realize, we had passed Christian Village. Okay, so it was after the event before I realized that area was called Dome Pillar 2, but I've never been there before. So they asked me to drop down, and the right-hand guy dropped, and I was supposed to follow him. So whilst I was trying to come down, the left-hand guy hit me, so I had no other choice than to land with my knee. Took me to an uncompleted, and then he asked me to kneel down. So when they asked me to kneel down, the one I challenged, that's the guy on my right hand side, slapped me. So when he slapped me, I lied on the floor because I didn't want to get up again, so I would continue receiving slaps. So I was lying on the floor, and then the one who was holding the gun, that's the guy in front, came out and started stepping on me. He was actually at the corridor, but he came inside where I was, and then he started stepping on where I was hurting. So I was shouting, and then he commanded me to keep quiet. Other than that, he would shoot me and then leave me. So they took my bag from me. And then the right-hand guy who took my phone started reading my messages. That is my text message, to see if I had done any Momo transaction. So after that, he asked me for my Momo pin. And then I was reluctant. So the beating continued. So they brought out their knives, the one on my right-hand side and then the one on my left-hand side. So I had nothing to do but to give them my Momo pin. So from there, I had a YAM phone. The one on my left-hand side took the YAM phone from my bag and then went through and saw some transactions on my car bank. And then he asked me to give him my bank code. You know, bank, when you bank, they give you 4-pin codes. So I had to give out my 4-pin code, and then they sent the money from my bank to my phone. They sent my money from my bank to my phone and then emptied my account. Someone asked me, have I been able to go to the bank to trace? No, I've not been able, because they transferred the money from my account to my phone. So I wasn't able to trace them. And then after taking everything, they asked me to call a family member. So a family member will send money to me. I called my big brother, and then unfortunately my big brother said he had no money. So I couldn't get money. And then the beatings continued. And I lost about close to 6,000 cedis. It should be around 5,000 something, but close to 6,000 cedis, including my phones. You get it? So, it wasn't an easy experience. This is something I would never wish for an enemy, because the experience was very, very bad. I could not walk because I had an injury on my knee. I could not walk. They really, really dealt with me. After I had called my brother, and then he said he had no money, and they dealt with me, they left me. The leader, the one with the gun, actually wanted to shoot me, but I think the driver, they had a misunderstanding among themselves, so they had to leave me. Seriously, I believe prayer worked, because as at that time, I was just singing one song, Uni Mawati, Brahma Yamiro, Inti Puamio, Buamio, Mami Eradi, Mama Tumianye, Wejuma. That was what I was singing throughout, from the beginning to when they took me to the uncompleted building. I was crying, begging them to leave me, begging them to take everything and then leave me. They took my keys, they took some important documents, some IDs, they took everything, they took my bag from me. I lost everything. As a young gentleman who is trying to start up life, and then you lose everything just within a day. I lost everything. This is me going to visit a friend. I could no longer go to visit the friend again. So what happened? I got a good Samaritan who drove me from home to Kaswa. That's where I live. And that particular night I was taking, it was around 11, and it happened around 7, 8 there. So at 11, when they took me home, you won't believe if I should tell you my neighbors, including my family, had an all night thanking God, because the condition they found me, I was full of mud. I was very, very dirty. So the condition they found me got them thanking God. Even if I've lost everything, I didn't lose my life. So the following day, I went to the hospital, and then from there, I went to recount my SIM. And the moment I cut my SIM, I placed the phone. In about an hour later, a friend called me and was like, my friend that I was supposed to go take to the hospital is dead. You can just imagine. One, I lost everything. Two, I lost my phone, I lost my money. Three, I lost my sanity. I was really, really depressed. And four, I lost a good friend. A friend I was supposed to save. If I had not been hit by this unfortunacy, I don't think this would have happened. Probably I would have saved him. So a whole lot was going on in my mind. I was asking God, God, why? God, why all this? God, why all this? But everything happens for a reason. I am not discouraged. Everything happens for a reason. And there's an advice I have for someone. Anytime you pick a car and someone tells you, oh, you sit inside, I will get down just here. Tell the person, even if you're getting down an inch away from this place, I will get down for you to get down. Because if I were to be close to the glass, I would have opened it, or I would have hit the glass for someone to know what was going on. But because I was in the middle, there was nothing I could do. So anytime you're picking a taxi you have to be careful. You have to be careful